Do you find yourself stuck translating every word in your head when you're trying to speak English? Does it slow you down and make you feel less confident? Imagine how much easier speaking English would be if you could think directly in English, without depending on your native language. Welcome to Chat Smart English. Don't forget to subscribe our channel for more English speaking practice. In today's video, we'll explore proven techniques to train your brain to think in English naturally and effortlessly. Whether you're a beginner or at an intermediate level, these steps will help you build confidence and fluency. Here's what we'll cover. 1. How to start thinking in English, even if you're just starting out. 2. Practical exercises you can do every day to strengthen your English thinking skills. 3. Tips to overcome the common challenges English learners face while trying to think in a new language. So stay with me until the end, and by the time we're done, you'll have a roadmap to think and speak like a pro. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to Chat Smart English for more practical tips like this. Let's get started. Before we dive into the techniques, let's talk about why training your brain to think in English is so important. When you constantly translate from your native language to English, you slow down your thought process and often lose confidence. You might find yourself hesitating, searching for the right word, or even forgetting what you wanted to say altogether. This makes conversations feel awkward and stressful. But when you start thinking directly in English, everything changes. You can form sentences faster, your responses become more natural, and you feel more confident when speaking. It's like switching from walking to riding a bike. Everything feels smoother and more efficient. Thinking in English also helps you understand the language on a deeper level. Instead of focusing on translating words, you begin to grasp their meanings and how they're used in context. This is the key to achieving fluency and sounding more like a native speaker. Now that you know why it's crucial to think in English, let's move on to some practical techniques you can start using today. The first step to training your brain to think in English is to start simple. You don't need to dive into complex sentences right away. Begin with single words and short phrases that are part of your daily routine. For example, when you wake up in the morning, think about what you're doing in English. Say, "I'm waking up." As you brush your teeth, think, "I'm brushing my teeth." These small thoughts might seem basic, but they lay the foundation for thinking in English. Another simple yet powerful tip is to label your surroundings. Look around your room and name the objects in English. For instance, say bed, window, or lamp. You can even create sticky notes with the English words for different items and stick them on those objects to reinforce your memory. The goal here is to make English a natural part of your daily thoughts. Once you're comfortable with words and short phrases, you can gradually move on to forming complete sentences and describing what you see or do in more detail. Consistency is key. The more often you train your mind to think in English, even with small things, the faster it will become a habit. And remember, every little step counts toward your fluency journey. Now that you've started thinking in English with simple words and phrases, it's time to take it a step further. Practice descriptive thinking. This means describing what you see, feel, or do entirely in English, even if it's just in your mind. For example, imagine you're walking in a park. Instead of simply thinking, "park," describe what's around you. The park is full of green trees. I can hear birds chirping. There's a cool breeze, and the sun is shining brightly. These simple descriptions help your brain get used to forming sentences naturally in English. Another way to practice is by talking to yourself. Yes, it might sound funny, but it works. Pretend you're narrating your life as if you're the main character in a story. For instance, while cooking, think, "I'm chopping vegetables. Now I'm adding spices to the pan." This habit trains your brain to think in English and helps you become more comfortable forming sentences. You can also use this technique with feelings or emotions. For instance, if you're happy, think, "I feel so excited today because it's sunny outside." Or if you're tired, think, "I need to rest because I've been working all day." The more detailed and frequent your thoughts become, the more naturally English will flow in your mind. This exercise not only boosts your vocabulary, but also helps you express yourself clearly and confidently. To truly train your brain to think in English, immersion is key. Surround yourself with as much English as possible in your daily life. The more you expose yourself to the language, the faster your brain adapts to thinking in it. One simple way to do this is by changing the language settings on your phone, apps, or computer to English. This will force you to interact with English every time you use your devices. You'll start recognizing words and phrases naturally without needing to translate. Another powerful method is listening to English content. Watch English movies, listen to podcasts, or enjoy music with English lyrics. Pay attention to how sentences are formed and how words are used in different contexts. Even if you don't understand every word, your brain will slowly start to absorb the language patterns. Reading is equally important. Start with simple materials like children's books, short articles, or subtitles on videos. As your confidence grows, move on to more complex content like novels or news articles. The key is to make reading enjoyable and consistent. Finally, practice speaking whenever you can. Join English-speaking groups online, or find a language partner who also wants to improve their English. Speaking regularly reinforces what you're learning and helps you think faster in English. Immersion isn't just about studying, it's about making English a part of your everyday life. The more you integrate it, the more natural it will feel to think and communicate in English. Visualization is a fantastic way to train your brain to think in English. Instead of focusing only on words, imagine pictures and scenarios in your mind while thinking in English. For example, if you're planning your day, picture yourself doing each activity while narrating it in English. I will go to the grocery store and buy fruits and vegetables. Then I will come home and cook a healthy lunch. Connecting words with mental images makes them easier to remember and use naturally. Another great tool is mind mapping. Start with a central word or topic like travel, and branch out with related words or phrases such as airport, suitcase, boarding pass, and vacation. From there, create sentences. I packed my suitcase last night, or I need my boarding pass to board the plane. This exercise organizes your thoughts and trains your brain to associate related concepts in English. You can also apply visualization during conversations. For instance, if someone says, I went to the beach yesterday, imagine the scene and think of follow-up questions or comments in English like, did you swim in the sea? Or, the weather must have been great. These strategies not only make learning more interactive, but also reduce the need to translate. Instead, your brain links ideas, words, and images directly in English, making your thoughts more fluid and natural. One of the biggest barriers to thinking in English is the fear of making mistakes. Many learners worry about using the wrong words or forming incorrect sentences, but here's the truth. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. In fact, they're essential for improvement. When you catch yourself thinking or speaking in English and realize you've made a mistake, don't get frustrated. Instead, see it as an opportunity to grow. For example, if you think, I go to the market, you can correct yourself by saying, I went to the market. This process helps your brain register the correct usage, making it less likely you'll repeat the same mistake. To overcome the fear of mistakes, remind yourself that fluency is not about perfection, it's about communication. The goal is to express your thoughts and be understood, even if your grammar isn't perfect. Over time, as you practice and think more in English, your accuracy will naturally improve. Another tip is to embrace your curiosity. If you're unsure about a word or phrase, look it up. Use dictionaries, translation apps, or even ask a friend. By actively seeking answers, you strengthen your understanding and build your confidence. Most importantly, be patient with yourself. Learning to think in English is a journey, and every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to fluency. Celebrate your progress and trust the process. Now, let's look at a real-life story of Jack, who successfully trained his brain to think in English, and how you can apply these techniques to your own learning journey. Jack, a high school student from India, was always nervous about speaking English because he feared making mistakes. He would translate every word in his head before speaking, which slowed him down. One day, he discovered the power of mind mapping. He started by creating mind maps for every topic he was learning, such as food, sports, and travel. For each topic, he listed vocabulary words and used them to form simple sentences. Soon, he found that his brain was processing thoughts in English faster, and he wasn't as dependent on translation. His conversations became more natural, and he felt much more confident speaking in English. This real-life example shows that, with the right techniques and mindset, anyone can train their brain to think in English. Whether it's through daily practice, visualization, or embracing mistakes, the key is consistency and patience. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep moving forward, and you will see results. In conclusion, training your brain to think in English is not a quick fix. It's a gradual process that requires consistency, patience, and practice. Whether it's starting with simple words, using visualization, or immersing yourself in English every day, the key is to stay committed. Over time, you'll notice that thinking in English becomes second nature, and your fluency will improve exponentially. Remember, mistakes are a part of the journey, and every small step you take brings you closer to becoming more confident and fluent in English. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Chat Smart English, for more valuable content to help you on your English learning journey. We have plenty of videos on improving your speaking fluency, vocabulary, pronunciation, and more. Click the notification bell so you never miss an update, and check out our other videos to continue enhancing your English skills. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.